On this week's episode of Damsels in the DMs,
We have from Red Hot for a Republican,
Ooh.
Damsels. I've been having a hard time with my girlfriend's family. We spent my first Thanksgiving with them in Connecticut. Her family is Republican. No surprise there. We got into a heated discussion about politics. I know, I know. During our heated discussion, my girlfriend didn't come to my rescue or even side with me. And I realized that we had never talked about our political stances before. And we've been together for a couple of months now. I don't know if I can date someone with a different political view, especially because I feel so strongly about being liberal. What would you do if you were in my position? Do I end it or do we try to meet halfway? Sincerely, Red Hot for Republican.
This message is intended as a reminder that we are not licensed professionals, not psychiatrists or psychologists. If you have a serious problem, please seek professional help. The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255.
There's some damsels in the DM.
Yes, queen.
Tell us what's the vibe. What's the vibe? There's some damsels in the DM. Please tell us what's the vibe. DMs, yeah we see them, yeah we read them. DMs, we don't need them, we just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Damsels in the DMs. I'm Lauren.
I'm Ash.
And I'm Alejandro.
I feel kind of loony today, so we'll see how this episode goes.
Oh my god, same. My brain has been like in a pinball machine, just bouncing around all over the place. Late nights, super productive times, but damn, time is flying. We're already in December.
I don't understand how it's fun. Also, I was gonna say, I feel like tonight would have been a good night for a little bit of a wine Wednesday.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, you're totally right.
How was
Wow.
everybody's Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was super chill. My first Thanksgiving without like extended family. I'm not American, so the Thanksgiving is not a thing for me anyways. And now what it means is also just, you know, but I had my friends come over and I did a Friendsgiving. And we made it a potluck, played games, drank really good wine. I made a really yummy charcuterie board. So it was nice. It was very wholesome.
Oh, that's beautiful. How about you, Alejandra?
Thank you. I had a few stops that I was invited to, so it was fun just being able to like bounce around and spread some glitter across town.
Hmm.
And it was dope. It was
So
really
you didn't
fun.
go back to Michigan. You just did some Friendsgivings?
Yeah, Friendsgiving.
Does your family
Yeah.
celebrate Thanksgiving in Michigan?
Yeah, well, now all of my family is in Indiana. My parents moved back to Indiana, so they do, yeah, they do celebrate Thanksgiving. It's, a cool opportunity to connect with everyone and eat
Yeah.
and laugh and do
When
all
did they
those
move to
merry
Indiana?
things. Uzoa,
When did they move to Indiana?
this was during the pandemic.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Yeah, like that year, that summer.
Oof.
That was a wild time. Just
Wow,
like
so you
I
don't
was
have
able
any
to.
family in Michigan anymore.
Well, I have my chosen family, I suppose we could say. There's still lots of family in Michigan always. And yeah, I was just talking with some friends about possibly like trying to see when that might be able to happen, but hopefully soon. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was my first Thanksgiving with Brian, our first holiday together.
Good.
Yeah, in 7 years. Can you believe it? It was really nice. My mom came to his family in upstate New York. So it like a special moment was watching his mom and my mom hug, which I know sounds
Aw.
silly, but it was like really sweet to see like, two worlds collide in that way.
But they never met before, the parents?
My mom has met his dad, but our moms hadn't met.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because Brian's sister, when her husband met her family, it wasn't their families didn't meet until the day before their wedding, basically. So we're
Whoa.
getting a bit of a head start. So that's good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Making sure that they like get along and everything, only 7 years later. So that was really nice.
That's really sweet. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Speaking of doing holidays together, Ash, I feel like I should let you introduce this topic because you found the article.
Yeah, so I was trying to find some content for today's host episode, and I was on BuzzFeed and I found this article that was like popular relationship debates, and it's a quiz that you have to answer. So I thought it'd be really fun and funny and cute for us to kind of go through these. There's 12 questions, so we're just gonna shoot the shit and see what everyone's take is, and where they're at with life on these topics.
I know I'm
So
gonna have some hot takes.
I know you're gonna have good hot takes, because when I was looking at these, I was like, oh, okay, Lauren.
Yeah, I have hot takes. I'm ready.
Okay, well, this one probably is good for you. How long should you wait before moving in with your significant other?
7 years minimum. Just
7
kidding.
years minimum.
I do have a hot take on this, and I do have a lot of friends and family who have not done this. I think it should be at least a year. And I know that that's controversial and people like have leases and it helps to save money. But I personally think that you should know a person well enough in a year to understand like their intricacies. You know, a little bit, you've probably slept over their place before, likely if they have any pet peeves that are going to gross you out. Like you've decided to get past a lot of things at that point to stay in it for the long run. So in my opinion, a minimum year.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Maybe like between a year and 2 years, however that balances out. I think that's definitely enough time to get comfortable and like really understand whether or not you want to move in with someone. I mean, that's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think a year to 2 years is a good enough time to know this person outside of living situation, and then to take it to the next step and figure out who they are as a roommate, because two very different personalities can be seen between the
100%.
two.
People change completely, even in your friendships when you live with them.
Yeah, definitely. This is why I have a rule. I don't live with friends. I did it once before in college, and it kind of tore us into half. Like there was 6 of us, and it kind of tore us into like 3 and 3, and it divided what was already a really fun friendship. But living together just kind of messed that up. So yeah, some friends are great as roommates, some just keep it as friends.
I agree.
Ooh, that sounds like a loaded story there. Maybe we can dive into that one sometime. My goodness.
I know, I've never heard that story.
Yeah, well, sidetrack, it was sophomore year, and there were 6 of us BFFs that moved in together. It was our first apartment, obviously, like moving out of our house, like moving out of home with your family, like our first apartment as like adults. And I think we're all like 19 at the time. And I don't know, nothing really happened. It was just a lot of little things, like tiny little things that would happen that literally divided the group split down into 3. It was 6 girls living in a 4-bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms.
Oh,
also did it.
Sounds
was one like a
challenge.
master bedroom, or were they both like the same bathrooms?
There were no master bedrooms. Like there was no ensuite bathroom. There were 2 rooms that like I had my own room and another girl had her own room, and then 2 of the other rooms had 2 twin size beds in them.
Oh, wow.
Well, can you imagine if everyone was in an open relationship? How would that work? Which is another question on this list. Would you be in an open relationship?
For me, I would say it's an absolutely no for me. I understand why people do it, why people are in them, and I respect that. But for me, I cannot share my person like that to me is just, I don't know, maybe it's control. I don't know what it is, but I have a hard time imagining my person with someone else. Or for me too, like it's difficult for me to be attracted to anyone else when I'm in a relationship. Like, yeah, like, oh, he's hot, but I would never go like be like, I want to date you while I'm with my partner.
Yeah, Alejandro?
I think it would definitely depend. I haven't been in an open relationship, but I think if the circumstances were right and if there was like full on honesty, and like the communication was working well, I think it might be interesting to try out. But yeah, under the right circumstances, I think that would be maybe the only way that I would consider it.
I think it can be a helpful tool if a relationship isn't working or like a spark hasn't been ignited in a long time. Like if you're, an older couple and maybe you're on the brink of divorce, I think in those situations, like it can be helpful to see the world and then come back to your partner and decide. Or if like you're a couple deciding whether or not to get married, I think they can be useful. I think that there's a lot of different type of people who function super well in polyamorous relationships. I agree that I am not one of them. But I think there's a time and place for everything. I feel like there's a great pilot waiting to be written about a couple that enters an open relationship after being married for years. But you're welcome to whoever I just gave that pilot.
It's like Grace and Frankie meets something else. I'm not sure what.
Yeah. So on the note of Grace and Frankie, do you think it's okay for your significant other to be regularly talking to their ex?
I think it depends on what it is they're talking about and how frequently. Like if it's every day, excuse me.
It
what?
says
Like,
regularly talking.
regularly? Well.
It's gonna be a no from me, dog.
It's a no from me, dog, too. Your ex is your
mom.
ex for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I want to put a caveat on this that I think exes beyond high school, not okay. Because I think that like sometimes people date their friends in high school and then like you realize it really wasn't romantic. Like you're in high school, it's a limited pool. Maybe you're from a small town like myself. There wasn't that many options. Not that I talk to any of my exes. I don't. But I mean, if I were to, I feel like the high school cutoff is the amount of time. Brian and his friend are friends with a lot of their exes because again, they were from a small town, San Jose, which I guess isn't really a small town, but the high school dynamic was small. And they all dated each other. And now they're all really good friends and there's nothing like romantic that goes on in it. But I wouldn't also say that they talk regularly, but they hang out in similar circles.
I think this is a San Jose thing, and I'm sorry to stereotype San Jose people, but my best friend who's getting married, her too, like her friend group from the same area, it was like an incestuous friend group. Like everyone dated everyone. And I don't understand that.
Is it the same friend group? Do we know?
It could be.
Okay, off air, I want to know who this friend group is.
I will tell you. But I think they're a year older than me and Brian.
Oh, really? So it's a no from you and a depending on it from Alejandro?
Yeah.
Alejandro's always a depending.
Oh my goodness. Yes, there's always mitigating circumstances.
I wouldn't. The next one, I wanted to see a clear answer, either black or white. There's no gray.
No gray.
No gray. No gray. What's the next question?
Ain't no rainbows in this game.
The next question is, would you ever get back together with an ex? And Lauren, just pretend you're not with Brian.
Yeah, always.
Like just the concept of getting
a dating podcast, please.
There you go.
Well, what do you think, Ash?
Yeah. Okay, deflection.
I used to be like, it depends on the ex, and I still might stand. For me, I personally in my life, I don't have exes that I would ever go back to. But if I did have a breakup that was amicable, we had a good time together, we were perfect for each other, but there was something that wasn't working. I don't know what it could be. I think maybe, time heals and people grow. And if you come back together and it's the right time, maybe. But then now I don't know if I believe in right time. There's never a right time for anything. But right now where I stand, it's no. My exes are exes for a reason. And like my specific exes are exes for a reason. And I would never go back to any one of them.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you, Ash. I feel like for a long time, I thought you could get back together with exes. And I feel like I romanticized that a lot and felt like, maybe in a different stage of life, it would work out. But then I think as you get older, you do really realize that they ended for a reason. And I don't know if you've ever had this experience. I have had this experience where I've met up with an ex and like years later. And when I met up with them, I just realized that we really didn't have a lot in common, and that we were just in very different places in life and that it couldn't work out in the same way. So yeah, I think that's one that's like a hard truth to swallow, but I probably wouldn't do it.
I want to say it depends.
You're not allowed.
No. Yeah, I mean what both of you said is or what both of you said are really valid. And hmm, yeah, I mean if things ended, they ended for a reason. And that's not to say one person is worse or better off than the other, but yeah, the fit. When the fit doesn't fit anymore,
When the
it's like,
shoe doesn't fit.
you know, who and why and how and what. And it's just, you know, all of that cacophony of thought that can take place, but probably not.
Good job. Good
There
job.
you go. We had an answer.
I was going to say that you could probably argue that all of these answers are dependent, but
Yeah.
we are not here for
Oh,
depending.
we're making hard choices
We're not
today.
playing
Got
Switzerland.
it.
We are
Yeah, no
making
Switzerland.
decisions. And we're not being judged on these decisions.
Okay, listeners, you're not judging us.
Don't judge us, okay? We're
Right.
human
Don't judge
Don't
us.
judge us.
And if you do
Yeah.
judge us, write us a letter about how you're judging us because I'd love to hear
Yeah,
it.
do that.
Or do it in a review, you know, for all to see.
This was an ad break.
Don't silently judge.
Yeah.
Write it out.
Yeah, if you're going to judge publicly.
Write us a
Oh
love
my
letter.
God.
Okay. Is flirtatiously texting someone other than your significant other considered cheating? Okay, Adam Levine, did he write in today?
Right.
He's like, guys, let me know right now because I did not cheat. I stand by that.
What's his song? I don't want to know. No.
I don't know. I was just thinking about the one he did with Christina Aguilera. Which one was that one?
is
Mick
that?
Jagger? Something? Oh, never mind.
Whatever.
Blah, blah.
Got the moves like Jagger.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is flirtatiously texting someone other than your significant other considered cheating? Yeah. Well, cheating. I don't know. What's a better word than cheating? I wouldn't use the word cheating. So technically, no. I would have to say no because I feel like another word might be appropriate, although that word does not come to mind. So
Maybe inappropriate.
Yeah. That's a great word.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate. I don't consider it cheating unless it's become a relationship and it's like emotionally cheating, you know, because there's the emotional and then there's the physical. So unless it's developed to that, but if it's just a casual flirtatious messages here and there, I think it's just inappropriate.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it's not necessarily cheating, but I do think that it says about what's going on in your mind, like that you're flirtatiously texting somebody because it's usually a sign that like you're bored of your relationship, you're not being fulfilled, you're feeling insecure. Like you usually do that because of something else going on. So I don't think it's a good thing. Like I think that it's something that warrants therapy or at least warrants conversation. I don't think it's something that should happen and then you write it off, never talk about it again.
No.
Agreed.
Would you date someone your family wouldn't approve of?
Been there, done that.
It
Didn't work out.
didn't work out.
My family's like the mafia, dude. They'll wipe someone out of your life.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
She's not kidding.
The guy's still alive, I think. I don't know where he's at.
I think.
We don't know his location or
Oh my God.
We'll look
health
into that.
status, but we'll look into it. It would just, better not to ask questions.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like my family actually has pretty good taste. And I feel like they're pretty accepting. And if there was something that was like really bad about them, that they didn't like them, that's probably a sign for me, a red flag. So I probably wouldn't do it, even though I hate to be that lame.
I think, yeah, because family is family, and my goodness, if they have a bad feeling about someone, then like, if they're more than likely gonna have my back more than anybody else. So it's like, I don't think they would steer me in the wrong direction. But yeah, I have a pretty good sense of things too. So why would that even come into question?
It brings me so much joy to watch Alejandro have to say a yes or a no, and just for not saying that it depends. I love it.
I don't know what you're talking about. No. Yeah.
Watch this episode back and watch the pain in your face every time.
Yeah. We see the panic in your eyes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, Aj.
Well, for me, you guys are lucky in a way that your parents are all accepting. For me, I wish my parents were all accepting. The thing that comes with having Indian parents is that at the end of the day, they want you to be with someone who's Indian, who's part of the culture, who speaks the language, and all of that. I think my parents are changing now. Like in the last 2 months, I think they're changing and they're opening up a lot more. I think before, if I dated anyone that wasn't Indian, it's someone that my parents wouldn't approve of. But now I feel like they're starting to get over that and are looking more into personality, how this person is. Are they able to take care of themselves? Are they a good person? Will they take care of us when we're older and, we need help? So I think if I don't find someone who's like a decent human being, then yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like my person has to be a really good person for my parents to accept now. It's like a unicorn that I need to find if he's
Okay,
not going to
Yes,
be
you
Indian.
deserve a unicorn. Hell yeah. Should
Yeah.
advocate for that.
And speaking of your
Yes.
unicorn, would you date somebody that your friends didn't approve of?
For me, I am a person who needs approval from the people that I care about and whose opinions I value. That's why it's always been really hard for me to bring a significant other or someone I'm dating at the time around to my friends, because I already know that my friends there's something about this person that I already know my friends are not going to like because they want the best for me.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I want my friends to be friends with my significant other. I want there to be a good relationship between them. So if my friends don't approve of someone, they have a good reason. They're not just saying it because of one random or one stupid thing that doesn't matter. I trust them. So no, I wouldn't date anyone that my friends don't approve of.
Yeah, I hold my friends close to my heart, so I hold them in the same regard as family. And if they get a weird thing, then I don't know. It might be a difficult thing to accept to try and like implement whatever practice or advice they might be giving, but I think it's wise to take heed to their advice too, as much
Oh,
as
good. Well, I'm so glad I could come in with the controversy for this topic. I think I have dated so many people that my friends didn't approve of, like back in my day. It's actually really funny because I saw a friend of mine from high school recently and we were catching up. I talked about this on a previous episode where my friend reminded me that I dated somebody who was so dumb and everybody around me also knew that they were pretty dumb. And you know what? I was blinded by the booty. And I think that's okay. I had a good time. And sometimes you just got to have a good time with people that not everybody likes. You get it out of your system. Do I recommend ending up with somebody who your friends don't approve of? No, I think that's a poor choice because I would hope that you have good friends who have good taste. And if you like them, then they should like them too. But I think sometimes you can have a little fun in life and date the people who, just experiment. I think life is about experimentation.
Date people who piss your friends off.
Yeah, just
It'll
go
be fun.
Yeah, just be fun. If it's
Go
a good
for
time, go for it. But I mean, don't like expect anything serious. And obviously, all of this to say that it brings me so much joy that my friends like Brian so much. So,
Do we?
wow,
Yes,
another
we love
controversial
him.
thing.
I just would like to play the devil's advocate.
Would you like to tell me something right now, Austin?
No, I love Brian. I love
Another
Brian so
controversial
much that we talked about him being my boyfriend.
Yeah, we talked about Osh dating Brian instead. So
Yeah, we think it's better
we
for
think
everyone involved. Yeah,
we're so aligned on this episode.
we so are.
That's why I had to say that maybe you shouldn't date somebody that your friends do. Because somebody has to bring in some controversy.
You're right.
Bringing in the controversy.
All right. What do you guys feel about marriage? Would you want to get married one day?
I'd be down. Yeah, I'd be down. It sounds.
I can imagine someone proposing to you and be like, "Sure, yeah, I'd be down."
That's groovy. That's what you would say. You'd be like, sounds groovy.
Cool. Yeah, groovy.
I mean, it just has to be, I don't know, it has to make sense. Like, I've heard of situations where like that has happened and it's been successful. And, that's always amazing. But then I like where I'm at now in life, and like if I'm good without a marriage, then like why is that like something that it's a necessity or something that should be sought? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Because
I
of
mean,
taxes.
you said what?
Because of taxes.
Yes, there's that. Taxes, taxes, taxes. Oh,
That's why it's a necessity. Duh.
yeah. But yeah,
Uh,
I'd be down. That's maybe that's a depends sort of answer, but whatever. I'm sticking with it.
I'm sorry, you just reminded me of taxes, and then I already started freaking out because tax season is literally in a month.
It's coming around the
I
corner.
can't. Why is this happening so fast? I feel like I just did my taxes.
didn't mean to do that to you. Anyway,
Ugh.
marriage. Also, Alejandro, you gave a yes answer, even though you think that you were on the brink. You said yes.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. One for me. One extra.
I want a
extra
strong
point.
one of these questions. I want a strong yes or a strong no. Like
just-
I want to hear you say hell no or fuck yeah. Oh my god, yes.
All right. Let's see. Let me
He'll
see
think about it.
what the next question is gonna
I
be.
What was the question? Oh, marriage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am open to it. Yes.
I love how calm. I'm open to it. Yes.
I do plan on it.
Perfect.
Me as well.
So, how long would you want to date someone before getting engaged?
7 years.
Right. Seven's a good number. Yeah.
No, probably 8, to be honest.
Yeah, for you 8.
Yeah. I do think that it has worked out well for me. I'm not going to say that it was but I totally understand that it's not everybody. And a lot of people are more keen on getting married than others. But I do think that you should date. All right, I'm going to give a hot take. I think you should date a minimum 3 years before getting engaged. And I think that one of those years should be spent living together.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That time together is definitely necessary. After a solid swing of successful dating.
And I think you need to have taken a trip together.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the later or the older you are, I think it's more acceptable to get engaged in a shorter period of time because you know what you want. You know what you spent your 20s looking, you figuring out what you want, what you don't want. The older you get, the more you know who you are as a person. You're more self-aware. You know who you are and you're comfortable with who you are. I think it's easier. I think it gets easier. Like the time doesn't have to be a long time. So for me, I like between 1 and 2 years.
1 year. And then, but if you're saying that they have to live together for a year, so then what's the timeline on that if it's a year?
So let's say I meet someone today.
Yeah.
We'll get engaged, let's say November 30th next year.
So
I
are
would
you
pro-
thinking
I would get
before
I
that?
think for me I would get engaged before I lived with them.
Really?
I
Why?
can still break off an engagement. A divorce is a little bit hard.
So you would get engaged, not have lived with them, and then if you live with them, you would end the engagement.
If I don't like living with them. Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, it's important to like living with the person that you're going to be spending the rest of your life with. For me, okay, then maybe I meet them today. We date for a year, we live together for a year, and then he proposes. But still, for me, it's like, I don't know. For me, there's a certain something about moving in together, like after a marriage. I know it sounds so old school, but because it's like you're moving into a new place together, or I guess it could be a new place. You could still live together before that anywhere else. So whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
I just think that it's like, if I am to get engaged, then I'm going to have told everybody I'm engaged. I'm going to have told my parents that I'm getting engaged. Like that is just a lot of information. And then I feel like I've made a commitment and then I'm going to go live with them. What if I live with them and then they're disgusting or like they're not nice? Like they don't share household tasks. Like there's just so much you can learn when you live with a person.
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like when I'm dating them, we're probably going to be doing a lot of sleepovers that are not just like one night here, one night there.
yeah, so you would definitely be able to gauge the growth factor. Like,
But I will say that,
immediately.
like, at least for me and Brian, our relationship changed a lot having lived together. Like, there does feel like there's an air of things getting more serious when you're living with the person. Like, And I think that living together has made us have to deal with like adult things more than even though we would spend weeks at a time at each other's places.
Yes, growth. Amazing.
Yes, growth.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wait, so next question. Let's see. How long would you want to date? We already did. Are you open to long distance?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yes, did it for 7 years. It was good.
Right.
I actually think back on the growth train, I actually think that long distance is great to do while you're in your 20s because I think it makes you be really present with your friends and like a really good friend and really open to all of the things your 20s bring and like new surprises and new life moments. That I think sometimes when people are with their significant other all the time or living in close proximity that you don't get otherwise because you're always doing things with them.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I love that you said that. And I would second that because to be able to like have things that I'm focusing on and then to trust that the other person has things that they're focusing on. And it's almost like space and time would be like really helpful so that we don't distract ourselves, at least in the beginning, with each other or with like trying to like figure out time to enjoy, like fill that cup every week. And it's just like, well, no, that might be too much. But yeah, I don't see issues with it. I mean, there could be, but I'd be open to it. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm open to it only if they're living in a city that I want to live in.
Only if you're living in Paris. That's what
Or
she
New York. Paris or New York. That's fine. But nowhere else. Like, no, nowhere else. There is no way that I'm going to Colorado or like Texas.
Colorado, you could go skiing.
Right, but like that's only a certain time of the year. I'm
Yeah,
only
but
going
you
to
can
come
go
visit you for
hiking.
ski season. I don't need you to go skiing.
Oh my god.
I'm good. I can go with my friends.
I mean, it reminds me of Sweet Home Alabama. I can't help but like wonder if like what if something does pull you to the countryside where like you just stumble into town and Asha's ready to take over.
Okay, okay.
that
On
ever-
this note, I was getting my nails done and I was looking for something to watch. Mind you, I am in film school. I am reminded of great movies every day. People are always telling me things to watch. What did I decide to watch? The
Love
new
is Blind.
Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie.
Oh, what was it?
Yes. Oh my
Um,
gosh.
Please watch it. Okay, it is trash, but in the best way possible. I like it's like really good trash. Like, have you ever like gone in your trash and like you just had loud array macaroons and some hint water and that's in your trash? It's like trash that I don't mind like looking at.
Nice
I
trash.
grew up with Lindsay. I cannot call what she does trash. My goodness. I
Yeah.
didn't grow up with her, but like I was watching Parent Trap and
Yeah, I
seeing
think
her
it'd
do
be really
things
nice to
and-
see it. I missed her on screen. Like I really loved her movies, so I would definitely watch it.
Not the same girl,
We know that.
but it's
Oh,
still
right.
it's still such a watch. Anyway, speaking of ski season and like dating people outside of your type, great movie for all of those things.
It was a cute movie. I also watched it one relaxing day over break, and oh my god, I was like, it was like secretly embarrassing, but then I was like really committed because I was like, no, I want to
I
see you,
agree.
Lindsay. Let me see what you're doing these days.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cute. I mean, I love like the sound of her voice. I love, and then there's that like twinkle in her eye that's just like she's just a joy to
Glad she
watch
had her
to see
hair
what she
color
does on
back.
camera. So, what'd you say?
I'm glad she had
Yeah.
her color back.
I saw the poster for her and I saw what she looked like. She looked good. She looked healthy.
She looked
Yeah.
like old Lindsay.
Yeah. Like if none of that stuff had happened to her,
And the
if she
fifth
just
word
had a
was-
straight career path, like everything was fine. She was supported mentally and just grew up as a normal person. She looks like how she would have looked.
And your girl loves really cute ski apparel. And the ski
yeah.
apparel was cute.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to watch for
I
inspo.
swear to God, I want to know where it filmed. It looks like Aspen.
Could be, or it could be Canada.
So speaking of the Lindsay Lohan ski movie, do you think your partner needs to be interested in the same things as you?
I want to be intrigued and taught things. So I would love for us to not have the same interests and to be able to teach each other about each other's interests. Does that make sense? Like,
So
I
that's a
don't.
no from you. Hard no.
So that's a
He
no.
said
Okay, well there we go. I got
absolutely
my first
not.
hard no. Boom.
I don't. That does not count because he was pushed into a corner. to
Whatever.
get
That's a
back
leading
now.
question. That's fine. This isn't a democracy. This podcast. Podcast.
What about you, Ash? What do you think?
No, I don't think we need to have the same interests. If we have something that's like, if I can, his interests, I think, need to be, if he wants to share them with me, it has to be something that like I can relate to, not something like, I'm gonna get in trouble again, NFTs or
I love NFTs. I don't know if you guys heard, but I am the world's #1 NFT supporter.
Lauren loves NFTs.
Don't let anybody tell you that I disparaged NFTs on this podcast.
Lauren especially
Loves them.
she loves them. But anyways, like if it was like something that I completely cannot, if it's a big part of his life, let's say he's like a video gamer, I'm okay. I'm okay without that. I'm 30 now. I was into it during COVID because there was nothing else to do and it was fun, but like not fun enough to consume all my time. I need someone to be able to share his interests with me that I'm also like, this is cool. I'm like really cool that you love this. Like I want to take an interest in your interests.
Right. Like, let's build an empire together. We can take over the world.
Exactly.
Let's do it. Right.
On the NFT thing, if anybody would like to make me an Ernie NFT, I would love that. So I'm in.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious.
It'd be so
I
cute.
would love to see it.
I am again going to come in with controversy. I think, yes, your partner needs to be interested in the same things as you. And I mean this in a more general way than a specific way. I can provide examples. Brian was not interested in theater before dating me. And I'm saying theater, not film TV, because his sister is a big theater person. And like Brian would wait in the auditorium, like outside of it, playing games until the play was over. Like he had no interest in theater, but he became interested in the arts like after we dated. I always had some interest in sports just because of like my dad and my brother growing up. So that was like pretty easy for me to acclimate to Brian's sports knowledge. But I mean, like generally, like we both like to exercise. We both like to travel. We both like to cook. We both appreciate good food. Like the little things, I don't think like on a grand scale, your general interests need to be the same. Like I don't think you need to be in the same work path. I don't think you need to be in the same career. But I do think that you need to value similar things because I think that relationships are really tough if you don't have things in common that you like doing. Like I know a lot of people who have broken up because like somebody likes to stay home all day and somebody else likes to go out and be out all night. I've ended relationships because we just like didn't do the same hobbies. I'm with you, Osh. Like personally, I respect video games. I think you can have a lot of fun playing video games. I like a video game, but I just think that like somebody who's going to stay home and play video games is not the right fit for me only because I'm very active and I like the world. Not that they don't like the world, but I like being out in the world more than I like to be home. So I think that you do need to be interested in the same things, but not in a minute way.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
Should we get into today's letter?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So we have from Red Hot for a Republican.
Ooh.
Damsels. I've been having a hard time with my girlfriend's family. We spent my first Thanksgiving with them in Connecticut. Her family is Republican. No surprise there. We got into a heated discussion about politics. I know. Never bring up politics with your significant other's parents if they live in Connecticut. During our heated discussion, my girlfriend didn't come to my rescue or even side with me. And I realized that we had never talked about our political stances before. And we've been together for a couple of months now. I don't know if I can date someone with a different political view, especially because I feel so strongly about being liberal. And I think it would be hypocritical of me to date someone whose beliefs don't align with mine. What would you do if you were in my position? Do I end it, or do we try to meet halfway? Sincerely, Red Hot for a Republican.
I think it's fair to label Connecticut in this way. I think Connecticut has a lot of liberal people. Doesn't Connecticut always go blue?
I'm not sure, but I feel like I know there's a lot of Puerto Ricans there.
I'm pretty sure Connecticut always goes blue. I'm going to fact check myself.
This, I mean, like not coming to like even side with them. That's kind of like, ugh, no one wants to feel alone. And like
Yeah.
when someone like is put in that position where like they're kind of like stranded, to not have someone like back you up, even in the slightest, that's kind of,
Can I just add something to our friend Red Hot for Republican?
yeah.
79% of the state of Connecticut voted for Joe Biden in 2020.
Oh,
Oh,
But I appreciate your sentiment, and I still think regardless, we can address this.
it's not fun to feel alone and like to feel like you're stranded in a conversation, especially over like Thanksgiving dinner. Oh my gosh, like that's such awkward territory to enter. And if that
Yeah.
person isn't even gonna like jump in or even like create a tangent to maybe like sway the conversation, well, what's up with that? Like that's not really cool. That's not I don't know. Do something. Say something.
Yeah.
Come to the rescue. My goodness.
I am going to do something out of character for me, and I'm going to side with the Republican on this one. And I have evidence why. Okay, so here's why I don't blame her for not siding with you. I think family dynamics are hard, and you're coming into her house and you're coming in hot with your beliefs. This is your first time meeting her family, and this is your first time going into her house for a meal. I think it's kind of rude to bring up politics when you knew that you weren't supposed to bring up politics, and then to go in hot and be upset that she didn't come to your defense. Like, if you like this person, then you came into their house, then you knew what you were getting yourself into, and you were basically just diving into lava by bringing that up. And I don't think that's fair to her. And to be honest, like if I were her, I would probably be embarrassed because like she's the one who has to fight for you probably in internal conversations with them and say like, yeah, I'm dating somebody who's liberal. We're, coming to get together on our stances, blah, blah, blah. But she probably is defending you on all of those internal discussions. But then when you're at a meal with her family, I don't think it's her job to defend you in a discussion that you put yourself in.
1,000% agree. I think number one, you already like, why talk about politics at Thanksgiving? There's a time and place to talk about politics. For me, now I'm realizing as I get older, because for me, I would always, when Trump was in office, I would have very strong opinions about that man and would want to talk about it to any of my Republican families that would listen, because I'm like, you guys aren't understanding what's happening. But now it's like, you don't just, it's that topic is off limits in certain occasions, in certain places. You're at her parents' house. You're in their territory, as Lauren said. It is very rude to come in hot and heavy with these opinions in somebody else's house and expect for their daughter to come to your defense. And Lauren, you're so right. Family dynamics are so different. I would, if I was dating someone and they said something that's like against my dad's political views in my dad's house, and it just was random, there was no need for a political conversation, I'd be like, dude, you're on your own. You already knew
your whole life with your parents. You've spent what, a few months with this guy?
Yeah. Like you're literally on your own. I know what it's like to get into a heated discussion with my family about politics. I'm not going to come here and defend. I do not want to have this conversation because I know how it goes.
Yeah.
Do not bring up politics when you're meeting my family.
Agreed.
And to be honest, I think you were maybe self-sabotaging yourself because you write in this letter, I feel so strongly about being liberal, and I think it would be hypocritical of me to date somebody whose beliefs don't align with mine. So I feel like you knew what you were doing by bringing up politics. To me, it feels like maybe you were testing her and seeing like whether you put yourself in this conversation, if she was going to come to your defense, like maybe adjust her beliefs. I feel like you were trying to test the waters because you know that this is not the right relationship for you because of this thing. And if hearing this advice makes you uncomfortable, and if you feel hearing us talk right now like defensive, like, no, I wasn't trying to do that, then I think, okay, maybe this relationship is worth fighting for. But to me, it feels like this thing about politics is so important to you that it's not the right relationship for you. And to be honest, I'm the same way. Like I agree. I probably couldn't date somebody either with conflicting political views to mine. It makes me happy that my significant other and I have the same political views. And if I were in your situation, I would have been really embarrassed if you told my whole family about your political views. So personally, I think that it's time to move on from this relationship. And I think that you should learn about this. I think you should think about this experience as a learning experience and take away that even if you believe something so strongly, it's better to listen to other people's opinions and learn from them than to just come in so hot with your own opinions.
My goodness. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I cannot help but express my gratitude to you both. And of course, Lauren, always for playing devil's advocate at the most appropriate times when controversy is needed in just the right doses.
You sound like a fairy godmother.
It did. It was
Oh,
nice.
thank you. I appreciate
I
that.
love it.
Bippity
I'll
boppity
take that
boo.
gig. Bippity boppity boo. Now let's get these letters written because we are open. Our inbox and DMs are always accepting new letters from our listeners because we want to hear what's going on, who you want to hear from, what you've been doing in your free time.
Subscribe, rate, and review us, please. We need your feedback. We want to hear if you're liking what you're hearing, what we could be doing better, different topics you'd like us to cover, people you'd like to have us to have on. Just let us know. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Damsels in the DMs.
Until next time.
It's going down in the DMs.
Bye.
DMs, we don't need them. We just leave them.
Please.
Yeah.
It's going down in the DMs. Bye.